If you struggle to make small talks, come closer. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you practical tips that will help you initiate and effectively engage in small talks. Without wasting much time, let's get right into it. First of all, don't overthink it and don't overplan it. Don't think about it as one big task, as one of the major big things you have to do for every time you have to go out. Of course, it can be like a big deal, especially if it is something you're not used to doing, but I don't want you to think about it that way. It's small talk, so make it small in your head. Just think about it as you're a human being, and when you go out to meet other human beings, you will do what humans do, which is interact. Don't think about it as a speech you need to prepare or rehearse for. If you get there and what you've already scripted or what you've already planned out to say doesn't exactly fit the situation or the environment, you will get stuck. You start feeling anxious and you don't know what to do anymore. Just approach it with an open mind. Another problem with scripting your small talk is that there might be more appropriate or more relevant things you could talk about in that environment compared to what you've already written down. Let's say, for instance, you're attending a networking event and you've already prepared that you're going to talk about the weather. It's not as if you can't speak about the weather in such occasions, but there'll be more relevant things that can help you connect with people there better. You could talk about the sessions, you could talk about how they got to know about the event, you could talk about who invited them. These are more relevant things to talk about compared to talking about the weather. I've heard people say they feel awkward about initiating or engaging in small talks. I think that what is more awkward is sitting on the same table with someone or with people and not saying anything, not having anything to say, and after say minutes or hours, you guys just part ways and you don't have anything to show for that sitting together. If this is something you struggle with, you might find it a bit awkward in the beginning. Think about the fact that not engaging in it is even more awkward, and that might push you to want to engage. You even give off a worse impression when the person is trying to engage with you, but you're just giving cold responses. Small talks can start with as simple as, "Hello, your dress looks beautiful. Where did you get it from?" It is that simple, and you can talk about different things from there. Okay, let's still go back to the example I gave. Say you went for a networking event. There are so many things you can start a conversation over. You could start simply as, "Hello, good morning. Do you know where the next session is holding?" And from there, you could start talking about the sessions you've had previously, the presentations they prefer, and who invited them to the event, how did they know about the event, and from there, the conversation just flows. So don't try to plan it and streamline what you're going to say prior to getting there. Don't try to over predict what you would say. I know why I'm saying over plan, over prepare, because there will still be some element of planning. I will talk about that much later in this video. When you're the one initiating it, or even when you're engaging, try to ask open-ended questions. So an open-ended question is basically a question that cannot be answered with a strict yes or a strict no. It gives people an opportunity to elaborate more on their answers. So if you're asking someone about an event, for instance, and you're like, "Are you enjoying the event?" Obviously, they're either going to say yes or no, except the person is really good at making small talks. But when you ask questions like, "How have you been finding the event?" it gives them room to talk a little bit more about how they feel about that thing. Another tip that will help you get better at making small talk is to listen more than you speak. I know that it's called small talk, so you're tempted to think you have to do the talking majority of the time. The truth is, it's a small talk because you don't necessarily have to talk a lot. I'm not saying that's why it's called a small talk, but in reality, you need more listening skills than speaking skills when you're engaging in small talk. You're not trying to give mind-blowing details about yourself. You're not trying to be too impressive. Your goal in engaging in small talk is to be interested. Just show curiosity about the person. You're expressing that you want to understand more about this person's thought process, what they feel about something, how they got to know about something, what their life is basically about, not in an intrusive manner, but just some superficial information that will just help you know how to relate with this person. You're trying to know something through the lens of another person, to see their perception of it and how that thing affects them differently from the way it's affecting you. You're not exactly going there to sell yourself. While I understand that part of the benefits of engaging in small talks is that you have the opportunity to sell yourself to someone, but don't make that the primary goal of engaging in small talks because you're looking for the next mind-blowing thing to say. When you don't judge something to be mind-blowing enough, you get stuck. Now you don't know what to say anymore because you don't feel like you're selling yourself massively by saying what you're about to say. Let's say you are at a wedding venue and someone starts talking about the food or starts talking about the decor, and you're expected to make your input on that. You don't need to be talking about the texture, the feel, the richness, the color. Talk about the color. Oh, the color looks nice. I love how they combined gold and emerald green. I like the flower there. The flower there really looks nice. You can still say the decor looks nice, but I would have preferred they use blue. It's that simple. If you're getting value from this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Another thing you need to keep in mind is that pauses are normal. That you're engaging with someone does not mean you have to keep talking for the entire 1 hour you're with the person. Don't fall for the temptation of always looking for something to say just to fill up the silence. Don't feel like the person stops talking because you're not interesting enough. Well, if they don't think you're interesting, then they find somebody else to talk to. You too, you find someone else to talk to. Next person, please. Because if you don't understand it that way, once the person stops talking, you feel like you need to say something. You need to be more interested. You start overthinking again. You start getting anxious. Like, okay, what else do I say to impress this person? What else do I say to get this person to talk to me? And you also need to understand that they don't need to talk to you alone. There are other people there that they also need to engage with. You can engage in a group small talk, which is even more interesting because you're not under pressure to always say something. That you give room for the next person to say, and before it gets to your turn, you might have some time to process your thoughts and think about what you want to say next. One thing I want you to take away from this video is not to have the impression that every single time the small talk is not going the way you want it to go, it is your problem. Sometimes the person you're engaging with is also bad at making small talks. So when you sense that this person you're talking with is not giving you the vibe you want, feel free to round it up and move on. Don't force it. Don't make it look like you're desperate to talk to them because you need to tick the box that you have made a small talk today. I have said previously that you shouldn't overplan or overthink your small talks. But one thing that can help you, especially at this stage, is to have a few relevant questions for the different places you commonly meet people. So for something like a wedding, you can have questions around how did you meet the celebrant, or have questions about the food you're being served, or you could have questions around the venue. If you attend networking events, you can have questions around what's your highlight of the event so far, how did you know about the event, who invited you, have you been here before. If you travel a lot, you can have questions about what other countries have you visited, what countries did you enjoy traveling to, what did you enjoy about traveling to those countries, what didn't you like about traveling. You know, the difference is you're not having these questions and planning and forcing yourself to make sure you ask those questions. You're just preparing. You just have them as a go-to question. Another thing that will help you get good at small talk is to be open about sharing superficial details about yourself. This is not time to be telling a stranger about your past, or telling them about your ex, or telling them about something very intimate. You're just sharing very light-hearted information, something you can tell anyone, someone everybody already knows about you, but basically because the person is a stranger, they don't know that information. Things like your favorite color, favorite food, things like your hobbies, things you enjoy doing. I know people who have gotten jobs just based off of their conversation with random people. I know people who have been called to do very serious things that have changed their lives just based on the fact that they told someone that they could do this thing or that they enjoyed doing that particular thing. And when the opportunity came, the person thought about them. Like, just be ready to give the person a little insight into your personality, things you do, into your vibe generally, and how you view life. Nothing too serious, nothing deep. Sometimes you ask the question, and the best way you can explain it is by sharing a story of something that happened to you. Go ahead and do it. That will give a more personal touch to whatever thing you're saying. So now you've engaged with this person and it's time to go. Please end it well. So if you found the person interesting, or you guys connected on something that you want to follow up on later, or you find that you guys share a hobby, or you just find the person interesting, just ask for their social media handle. Oh, it was nice meeting you, or nice speaking to you. Are you on any social media platform that I can follow you on? There are a lot of fantastic people in my life who I met in very random places, and we've stayed in touch all through the years because we have a platform we can connect on. So give yourself the opportunity to connect with those people you find interesting. You don't know what could come out of it. Job, marriage, you never know. Let me know in the comment section if you have any favorite conversation starters. For some people, it's a hello. Some people start by asking you a question about something, or some people start by sharing something about themselves. Let me know in the comment section which is yours. And if you don't have, comment, I don't have, help me. If you enjoyed this video, I'm so sure you will enjoy this one, where I also shared some practical tips on how you can be a more friendly person. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so you can get notified anytime I post a video. Join me and let's grow into a better version of ourselves, one video at a time. See you in my next video. Bye.